Hey, yo, everyone. I hope everyone's doing great. I am doing fantastic. Hopefully, everyone had a great week and will have a great weekend. Um, this is the last video for the JoyToy Michelangelo. This is their TMNT or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line. They just announced April and was a Splinter, so that's super cool. And I will probably be getting those once they drop. I still need to get Shredder. I think he is out in overseas, but I just can't remember if he's officially out. So I'll have to check back with y'all. But before I get this video started, I want to say a huge thank you to all the new subscribers. I'm so happy that my videos have been doing pretty well. I didn't expect these videos to do better than what I expected. My last video with Donatello and Raphael, honestly, it's at a pretty good spot, and I never imagined that it would get to the where it's at right now. Same thing with the Leonardo video. I'm so happy where it's at. But I'm so happy that it's reaching an audience that when JoyToy not first dropped, but when I first heard about JoyToy, there wasn't really a lot of videos out there about the brand. And I bought one figure from them, and it was one of the Warhammer figures. And suffice to say, this brand is heading to a place where it deserves, and that is on top. Their quality is amazing. Their paint applications, just everything about them is really good. I know some people like to say their scale, wish it was bigger, but realistically, I mean, to me personally, pocket figures are just amazing. Once we were kids, I didn't have the biggest figure, but they were honestly 1/18 scale, and I used to have the Star Wars Legends, their Hasbro line, or the Hasbro Star Wars Legends line, and I had Anakin, and it was amazing. I mean, back then, that was literally the most articulated figure in my eyes. But yeah, I'm glad that JoyToy is getting a lot more recognition, solely from the new Space Marines 2 game, and that pretty much rocketed JoyToy because of their Warhammer figures, and a lot of people are buying them, and I'm just super happy that this brand is getting more recognition. But I'm not here. Y'all not here to hear me ramble. I am here to bring y'all the last video for the toy line. So this is Michelangelo, very similar in box design when it comes to the other figures. You see the Nickelodeon license there. This one's a little bit damaged, but who cares? I mean, as long as the figure works, that's all that matters. See some art there, or not art, but pictures there of Michelangelo, him on the skateboard, his special effect with his nunchucks, him eating a pizza slice. Yeah, I mean, and one cool thing too is if you're a box collector, or if you like to keep the boxes, this is super cool because each box has the character on the side. So if you want to have a shelf of them side by side, they don't form a collage or like a full picture. It's just themselves. So that's pretty cool. And I honestly think it makes it easier for people who are have a store who wants to sell them. That'd be pretty nice, easy easy storage, and you easily know what that is. So enough rambling. Jeez, I don't have the words today. Enough rambling. We'll get straight to the box, or what's inside the box, and we'll get a closer look at the figure. See you in a bit. All right, so here we have what's inside the box. All right, so we have a couple accessories here. These are practically the same from the other figures. I mean, this is pretty much the exact same thing. We have his pizza slice there, his telecommunication device there, his special effects nunchucks. Up here, his regular nunchucks, skateboard, a stand. He does have the special stand if anyone was interested in that. And we have swappable hands. He has the how he comes in the box with just the fisted hands. And to see he has, yes. So my Raphael had the same two hands, his right hands, but I don't think I'll ever have these turtles with these sets of hands. We see his, I believe those are gonna be his, let's see, let's take a closer look. These might be his nunchuck hands. And this could be very well his, yep, his pizza slice holding hand. Same thing over here, his telecommunication hand. So yeah, each figure has, these two are going to be the same. They're open palms. Their fists being the same. These hands right here in the middle are most likely going to be the same. They're mainly for the pizza slice and telecommunication device hands. They can be swapped. Now, I believe the last two sets of hands are going to be where those are the weapon holding hands. Raphael, I believe, has the more unique ones. Donatello, Leonardo, and Michelangelo, they all have a hilt of some sort. Raphael doesn't really have a hilt that he holds on. Technically, the sides have hilts, but that's not where he typically holds it. He holds it where, like this, and that's pretty much where his hands are made. You know, whereas Raphael's figure hands are, the sets of hands on Raphael has a much more unique pair of hands. So yeah, we'll take this out of the box, or the plastic, and we'll take a closer look. I have something a little special at the end. So I'm not gonna get too into it, but hopefully everyone digs it. But I'll be right back. Alrighty, so here goes the figure. I am not gonna show the hands because they're practically, like I said before, the same pair of hands from Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael. If anyone is interested in the hands specifically, I would honestly say check the recent Donatello and Raphael video. Those will show, my bad, the Leonardo video, those will show more in depth of these hands. Because mainly, the only differences would be Michelangelo and his weapons. So I will show that after showing Michelangelo or Mikey the figure. So we'll start from the top and work our way to the bottom. So the head, like the rest of them, have the neck sits on, or the head sits on a double ball joint dumbbell joint. I think that's the correct term. The shoulders don't have butterflies, but they do have hinge shoulders. Same thing with the elbows, have hinge shoulders. The hands, or the wrists, sit on a double bell joint, just very similar to the head. The upper torso sits on a single ball joint, which is, so it goes from the ball joint, then it sits on not a peg, but it's a glued-on peg. I guess peg hole would be the correct term. The waist here, so this is actually an independent part right here, because the waist actually sits on a T-joint waist or hip. There is thigh swivel on both legs, which is really nice. Double jointed knees. Now, I know some of you are going to say, wow, that doesn't move as much as I thought. Well, that is solely because the knee pads. So he does have double jointed knees, which is pretty neat. But I find that you rarely see the full movement because of the knee pads. But yeah, that's just, double knee joints, I guess, is really good. The ankles sit on a hinge joint, also has a swivel to get much more dynamic poses. And that's pretty much it for the figure. The shell does not move, or is not it's just one solid piece that is stuck to the upper torso. You can take these apart I would say be careful. I haven't broke any of mine, but I have seen some where it's not that it's fragile, it's more of you just the figure is so bulky that you just don't want to risk the possibility of damaging the peg or the joints itself. So my recommendation would probably be you, of course, put it in a Ziploc bag, heat it up in a pot, and don't put the figure in the water, but of course the figure inside the Ziploc into the water to get a much more definite heat, I think would be the correct term. But that's another, I can definitely show that in action. So we'll talk about the paint. Oh, one thing I actually should have mentioned. I was actually, you know what? We'll talk about paint and then we'll talk about the accessories that he has on him. Each figure has a distinct color, of course. Now, Michelangelo, I want to say his color is a pastel orange, I want to say, but it's very washed out. Now, I don't think that is because of the paint itself, but it's more of the washes that they use on almost every figure JoyToy makes. Now, I'd rather have washes than a washed out paint, and that is the sole reason is it washed out shades just really brings out the definition on these figures. And my other two videos with Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael, the washes really bring out the definition in the muscles, the veins. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't just keep it one color. And like I said before, this shows it. Now, I mean, besides every other, the only difference would be the color, really, and the M in his on his belt. But yeah, and I can see it's a little washed out on the head itself, but that's probably because the white of the eyes and the white of the teeth really don't really wash out the color itself as well. So if it was up against the orange, like you can definitely see it being very, prominent. But the moment you see this here, it kind of washes it out in person. Now, the accessories. Each figure is different, and I'm pretty sure you have been able to notice how different he is compared to Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael. We'll start with him, or with him. We'll start with the head and then work our way down. His bandana is smaller. Now, I don't fully know the lore of the turtles. I know that they're born the same time, and Michelangelo tends to be the smallest or kind of the runt of the brothers. Now, I find it adorable that they gave him a small sized bandana, kind of giving him a ditzy, more how would I say it, joking, come almost comedic feel to it. I don't think it is bad. I really enjoy that each figure is unique, and this is one of the telltale signs of that. He has an iPod, of course. I mean, feels like he would be the kind of turtle or kind of guy that would be listening to music all the time, and I think in almost rendition of him, he's almost listening to music all the time. Turning it around, we see his license plate, and interesting, I'm assuming that RGT483. I'm sure there's an actual meaning to that, and I wish I knew what that was, but if anyone in the comments wants to tell me what that is, please do tell. I want to know what that means. Now, each figure has a holster or a sheath or a scabbard. I'm not too sure what the correct term is. I'm assuming we put in the nunchucks through there, or the ones that are one of the nunchucks through there, which I think it'll be an interesting design, which wouldn't really make sense as this is a chain. So if it was actually dangling, it would fall off. We'll see when we get to that. And lastly, his thigh. Each figure has a unique thigh piece. He has paint or paint cans. So of course, Mikey would probably be the one to make graffiti in the New York subway tunnels while he tries not to get caught. Seems very, very like him. Green and orange. Now I can only speculate that can probably just because he paints his Mikey symbol, which is he's a turtle, but to the outside world, all they see is a turtle, but they think it's just a caricature. But he probably is just painting himself, probably. So yeah, that's pretty much all of Michelangelo. We'll put him with his weapons, or you know what? Actually, I will show the weapons, and we will go from there. After the weapons, I'll show him with everyone else, kind of have a side by side, and we'll hopefully wrap up the video so there's not too long. I'll be back. So here goes his weapons, his nunchucks. I do wish that these were metal so that they can move independently, but I know that you can't. There's pros and cons to each one. Now with a fixed position weapon such as these, like nunchucks, when they free flow, you lose the freedom of moving them around, kind of them dangling, and you lose that more posability. But the issue is that, say you want to show it kind of almost, even with these you can't really do it, kind of almost him hitting someone, you really can't get that with a free flow chains. So I'm more glad that they went with this design. Actually, you know what? I would be more happy if they had the free flow, the metal chains. Only because I'm scared that maybe one day, down the line of, who knows, maybe 10, 20 years, plastic, degrades by time. You barely move it this way, it'll probably, break. But, I'm more of a collector that displays things periodically and will shift some of the poses. So that wouldn't be a main concern for me, but it is something, to keep in mind. I mean, maybe there'll be a third party on, Etsy or even eBay or maybe AliExpress, who knows, who will make custom nunchucks for these figures. And I'm sure in maybe 5 years, these are going to be, discontinued, but they're going to be really sought after. I mean, this is JoyToy's first, I want to say, American toy line. And Warhammer can be it because it was from Europe, I believe. Yes, because most of the conventions are in Europe. So yeah, I would take that into consideration. If you're someone who wants these to free flow, maybe one thing that you can probably do is custom make yours, where you just cut these ends right here and make your own chain mail, your own chains. So yeah, wanted to show a little bit of a closer look on these weapons. And here we go with the last part, or the last part, the other pair of weapons, the nunchucks. Now I'm looking through. Whoa. Okay, I did not know this. So all the other weapons are this transparent color, this transparent blue, and then they're painted on with the corresponding weapon, or the corresponding color of the weapon, where it does not have this effect. This is actually pretty neat. I wouldn't put it past them if they totally designed this as one big piece that was transparent and this was, painted. But I'm more than happy that they did this. I mean, I did not know this. So yeah, I mean, I just love these effects. I mean, it's such a dynamic look, and not one piece is going to be the same. You can definitely see, if I were to put these side by side, this here is a little bit more white or clear compared to this one. This is a little bit more richer, and I like that the difference between the two. It's very unique, and it's not gonna always be the same when you pose it. So I do enjoy that. Now, in terms of paint, I mean, it's pretty, it's basic, very similar to the other one. The gunmetal on the nunchucks, though, are pretty shiny, which I'm very happy. JoyToy does a pretty good job at making a weapon shine when it comes to the gunmetal paint, and they knocked it out the park with this one. I mean, this is really, really nice. I want to say my favorite one would probably be the katanas from Leonardo. It just looks clean, but also looks gritty. I don't know, something about it just it gives you the idea of that, that the sound that katanas make when you're taking it out, like I definitely see that with those katanas over there. But yeah, so enough rambling. I will get this figure with this and the other nunchucks. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I decided to do both types of weapons. I did the fixed nunchuck and I did the special effects nunchuck. I feel like there's a better way of saying special effects, but I'm 3 videos in. I think this is special effects weapon is going to be just fine. So putting them on was not too hard. You kind of have to pull the fingers back, but this material that they use is pretty malleable, so it'll take somewhat of a beating to it. Of course, don't pull the fingers all the way back because they will, of course, destroy it. But if you're, still too cautious, putting in some hot water and, bending it that way, or, using a blow dryer. I find using warm water the best. So putting in a baggie, a Ziploc bag, I find it to be the best way to do that. So yes, this is the figure. Each turtle has this stand here, so it's nothing unique. But this looks amazing. I'm so happy that they gave the turtles the special effects look. The special effects weapons. I think it really makes each individual turtle unique when you have it displayed side by side. And I'll have to show you in a bit how they all look, together. But yeah, I want to say this is one of the more fun ones to have because it's Michelangelo. It's Mikey. Come on. And now that we're actually here, let's test this. So I want to say this goes like this, but it really wouldn't make sense if that was that way. So I wonder, it's going to be a little loud, I wonder if it's supposed to go like that. You know what? This probably makes more sense. Maybe it's up to the user, to the owner of this figure to decide that. I'm not too sure. Maybe there's a way that I'm not putting it right. I'll have to look at the box. But if someone figures that out before me or has, another way they want to display it, that's okay, cool. Or okay, cool. Okay, fine. No, that's not what I was meant to say. But yeah, I like this. I think this is a more fun design of the turtles. I want to say Raphael's on top, but I'll give you my final thoughts at the very end. So I'll take this guy off and I'll be right back to give or if not, wrap up the entire video. I mean, I'll have all the other turtles here and I'll quit yapping and I'll be right back. All right, so we have it here. And I wanted to display the figures with my turntable that I got. I got it a while back, but I just haven't really fully displayed it, only because I just haven't found the reason to. But now I have the reason. So overall, I'm so happy that I was able to grab these figures. They're not American released figures. They're only over the seas figures. So I believe China, Taiwan, Indonesia. What's another country that they have? They have another country that's listed for the figures to be released. Hopefully, the sound of the turntable isn't popping up. I'm kind of standing a little bit farther back than I normally do. But yes, to start it off, I'll start off with Leonardo, and then I'll go work my way around to Michelangelo. So Leonardo, being one of my favorite, I can't get mad about that. I mean, I love the figure the most, and I wish he had. My only complaint with Leonardo would probably be, I wish he had more shinobi looking armor plates. Now I see that you can actually just see right now. You can see his thigh pads somewhat represent that, but I wish I don't think the rivets do it justice. I believe if they were just wood looking, I would say wooden looking plates, I think that would have been way much more better. Or even bamboo plates, I think that would have been so much cooler to have. But yeah, other than that, face I think is fitting for Leonardo, and the swords are really well scaled to Leonardo, and I love the almost cartoony look to them, how thick they are, and they're not the typical katanas that you normally would see, but I do enjoy that look of them. Donatello, I love his face. I love the purple look to him. It's not too bright, but it's not too dark. I don't know if I like the pouches on his belt. It to me doesn't really make sense, but I wish they were swapped out with maybe some tech. Maybe I think because he has a pouch, or was it a medic pouch or bag or satchel, whichever one you want to call it. Those pouches doesn't look technologically advanced for Donatello, since he's the smart guy in the group. I think they should have been maybe actual pouches, the square boxed pouches that you open up with the little buckle. I think those would have been much more fitting, because he has them on his thighs, you can see. I think having them on his belt would have been a much more cooler and clean design. Actually, just right now you can see on his chest, you can if he had those on his waist, perfect. But everything else, I love the weapon. I love his I would say his bow staff special, or his, special staff. I already forgot what it was called. Special looking staff. But yeah, that would be for Donatello. Raphael, in my opinion, probably has the best looks, and that's just probably because of his back, or his shell, that metal plate with the spikes in the back. It just screams Raphael. I think he probably has the more cooler designs, because you can see his kunais on his thighs, and you also see those on his chest. Really, really cool. My only complaint would probably be his sheaths, or his little holsters. I wish they were angled a little bit more inwards, so that when you do display the size in his sheaths, they're not too over cumbersome. Only they don't block his leg, so that'd probably be my only complaint. Michelangelo. Oh, I want to say also Raphael probably has the best face. It just screams vintage, or retro turtles. So I just wanted to point that out. Michelangelo, I don't think I like his face. I wish they gave him a face very similar to Raphael, or maybe Donatello. I know each turtle is unique, but I don't know if I like Michelangelo's. If maybe he's probably my least favorite faces in this turtle line, and it looks eerie. Something about it just looks a little eerie. He's grinning too hard. Now I know as Michelangelo, he's always joking around, but I do think They should have given him a different face, maybe something similar to where he's very similar to Donatello's, but showing a little bit of teeth, but not the entire, all 28, not 28, 20 or yeah, 28, 27 teeth or 32 teeth, whichever how many teeth a human has. What it's else about Michelangelo, I think that's the only thing that I dislike from Michelangelo. He's probably the least things that I like about when it comes to the turtles. Just the face. I think I wish the face was different. But yeah, these are the turtles. I feel like I've been talking way too long than I should have. I hope no one, minds that. I'll continue to apologize because I feel like I'm taking everyone's time up with these figures. But I do want to clarify that I want to make sure that I'm really going in deep with these, with each figure that I review, and I want to make sure that you as the viewer are comfortable with, maybe you want to buy, this is going to be your first figure you'll ever buy, and this is the only figure you'll ever buy, so you have to make your money's worth, your hard-earned money worth it. So hey guys, sorry about that. My video, my camera ran out of space or storage, and it completely shut off on me, and I had to transfer some videos to my computer, and it took way too long than it needed to be. If you love turtles, and if you love pocket scale figures, which are typically 1/18th scale figures, these are it. These are it. I got my figures off of LT Cave. I bought them on the app Shopify, or Shopify, I think this is the name of them. I hope they didn't change their name, because if so, then I didn't even know that. So yes, I got these all together for $145 free shipping, if I am correct. Taxes, all that varies from state to state. Yeah, and it honestly didn't take too long. I pre-ordered it, and I didn't even know it was shipped to me until maybe a couple days before I figured out, maybe I'll check to see what's up. But yes, like I said, if you love turtles, these are it. If you love pocket scale figures, these are it. Design quality phenomenal. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoys this small little series that I did. I feel like I should have done Leo Donatello or Leo Michelangelo in the first video, and then Donatello Raphael in the second video. But I hope this isn't too long of a little mini series, I guess I'll say it. I'll definitely have to make a playlist for these figures, because I think they'll just get lost in the sauce. So yeah, if you love this video, if you love turtles, drop a like, leave a comment what you think. If you have these figures, what are your thoughts? I haven't come across anyone who has these figures. None of my friends have it. But they have seen it in person, and they love it. So yes, if you have these figures, let me know what you think, and kind of start a conversation there. And I'll see you in the next video. I will not do my typical bye, but yeah, I feel like Michelangelo's taking way too long to get here. So I'll see you later. Bye.